let's see what Agile is in the first place. Let me start with a story that I generally like. Actually, I keep training on Agile workshops. Once when I was training, one of my friends met me during the lunchtime. Suddenly, we met about 10 years ago. We literally lost connections. Then we said hi, and then he asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm coaching and training in Agile." He said, "Oh, that's good." Then he asked, "What is Agile?" I do know he has been actually a CXO level person. Then I told him, Agile is something like we believe in more in people over processes and tools. We believe in responding to the change of the customers, needs of the change of the customer, to, following a plan that what we make, innocently thinking that the plan would work. So that's what I told him, and things of that sort I can explain you in detail later. But here is the concept that Agile is basically a mindset and a philosophy. This is what I told him. Then he said, "You know what, Falgun? These philosophies and all do not work in my organization. We are a highly process-oriented organization." I said, "Wow, that's great." Then I asked him only a couple of questions. Who do you think are making these processes? It is the people, right? Who are making the changes to your plans? Who are making changes to your processes? Who are making changes to the tools that we need? Who are identifying the right tools for us? It is the people, right? I don't need to tell anything much than this. Let me say you one simple statement. If the ex-CEO of an organization, if you get a headline news saying like this, if the ex-CEO of the organization is coming back onto the advisory panel of the board of the organization, the share prices shoot up. Oh, that company is still a CMMI level 4 or level 5 company. Why? In one day or two, the levels of certification of CMMI, ISO did not change, but the share prices increased overnight. That is the people what we are talking about. Oh, he's the kind of convincer then. Then when I said again, you know what, the philosophy that what you believe, currently what you are doing, that people will be working in the process tracks that what you create, is the other side of the philosophy. Oh, then he probably appreciated me when he said, but you know what, where the process, these philosophies and all do not work. Literally, he looked at me as if I'm a cockroach. But we became again connected, and he attended my workshops too, by the way. Thank you very much for listening to that story. We'll continue that. So the moment somebody hears that, oh, is that philosophy? Please understand that everything in this world is philosophy. We trust each other. The philosophy there is defined processes. Defined processes probably will work for construction industry, some other kind of a turnkey project, but software is different. Software is empirical process. Empirical process means we experiment, learn, try the best. We keep on working among ourselves for the best results to deliver the value to the customer. That's what we are talking about. Agile helps us to get there, and to get there, we all need to work little harder than what currently we are doing. It's not really hard as such. Just change your thinking, change our thinking. That's what that's what my endeavor is at the end of this webinar. We all should be looking at least, to think of changing. So, when I say Agile, this is a standard definition generally we come across. Agile is a philosophy that uses organization models based on people, collaboration, and shared values and beliefs. When we talk about shared values and beliefs, it is the culture literally what we are talking about. People can make any kind of culture if they wanted to. So it's more of a mindset. The moment we see that, oh, many people think that Agile doesn't have processes, Agile doesn't have, a plan. That's not true. Agile has excellent processes, excellent plans in place. Only thing is, in the real world, the plans are difficult to make, at least for the long-term plans. Short-term plans work better for us because we can foresee things to only a certain extent. Had I known, for example, that the dollar rate will go up to 60 plus as of today, 6 months ago, I could have invested a lot of money probably and could have retired by the day today. Probably you would not be listening to this webinar. I'm just kidding. Thank you. So it's a mindset. That's what I'm trying to talk about. All Agile frameworks follow the Agile manifesto. Agile manifesto is talking about the philosophy. The philosophy is nothing but the values, philosophical values. All Agile frameworks, which we'll be talking in the next coming up slide, use adaptive planning, iterative and incremental planning. They all work toward rapid change, following rapid change, and they're going to be very flexible, responding to the change requests that we get from the customers. And of course, individuals who work in those projects, environments, constantly interact for better results. That is what is the teamwork we are talking about in Agile, which is difficult for most of us to get. But my endeavor at the end of this webinar is to give some knowledge on that for all of us. So when I said earlier, Agile and Scrum, please do understand that okay, I'm just holding, I believe the screen is not refreshed yet. Okay, I will still continue. I believe you're able to see the screen now. You're looking at the various Agile frameworks. All these come under the umbrella of Agile. So when somebody says Agile, by default we are talking about the mindset under which all these frameworks, methods and methodologies do work together. Again, now we need to understand a simple concept here. A framework, a method and methodology. If you see a framework is a hollow pathway that you can use anywhere. For example, Scrum is a great and beautiful framework that is very, very easy to understand. Even a 3-year-old kid can understand. That is why Scrum has become very, very popular. I would say one of the first reasons. Scrum is extremely difficult to implement. Why? Because we are believing in more people here. We are believing in, more on people and their mindset. If people do not change their mindset, most of these Agile frameworks do not work. That's why we get to be a little careful about those during the Agile transformation and see the various dynamics of the people who are working with us in the teams and within the organization. So just brief, out of all these frameworks which you are seeing here, framework is a pathway. By the way, Scrum is a framework, whereas extreme programming, we can call it as a methodology. The reason I say is, the fact is that Scrum is a framework, it doesn't have any practices and the process is clearly defined how to handle the real-time workplace environments. That's why we call it a framework. Whereas extreme programming is a method or methodology as such where you have the processes, practices, and the activities in place for us. So it's a complete set of methodology defined clearly. So Scrum is framework, extreme programming is a methodology. We can see from from that perspective. Let's talk about a little bit about process control. I was earlier talking about defined process and empirical process, right? Defined process is a mean defined process model. In defined process model, we think that everything can be really estimated, planned upfront, and then probably we will try to follow that. Whereas empirical process, we frequently inspect and adapt to the changes that are needed for the process and constantly keep on perfecting them. That is the key essence there. So in essence, empirical process is different, and software works for, for all the time, software works best for empirical process, using empirical process, because software is a creative work than a regular, engineering kind of a work. Let's see for a minute why Agile works.